Letting go sounds simple, but if you've been hurt, that's one of the hardest things you can do. If you're someone that is struggling to overcome, or you're overthinking about the things you have faced, this video is for you. I keep replaying what hurt me. Okay, now let's shift that focus into prayer and writing in your journal. Prayer is the most powerful tool you can use. It's literally the connection between you and God. It's that conversation that you have between you and God. You cannot see it, you cannot feel it, but your words to God, once you shift that focus of you replaying things that have happened to you and that hurt you, you shift that away. And now you focus on prayer. You're praying for yourself. You're praying that whatever hurt you, you want to let go of it. You want to grow from it. You want to make sure that you no longer hold on to that. Prayer is the most powerful tool you can depend on. And also journaling. One thing I really do that makes me forget about the thoughts I have, or if I want to move away from the thoughts that were in my mind, I write in my journal. I talk about it in my journal, express how I felt, express how it's been hard for me. I do that. If I find it really hard for me to even voice it out to God, I write it on a journal and I bring it to God. I say, God, look, this is what I've written. This is how I feel inside. This is the things that's going on inside of me. And once I do that, I feel so free. I feel so relieved. So don't ever think that whatever is happening or whatever you're trying to replay, whatever your mind is trying to replay, that you cannot overcome, that you cannot live by the truth. Sometimes these are just negative thoughts, just wanting you to live in the past and not in the present or even in the future. It just wants you to live in the past. So you need to be very careful that these are just negative thoughts that constantly want you to dwell upon what has happened. But once you've brought it to God and you've prayed about it, you're going to receive peace because it's no longer your matter to deal with, but God's matter. And if you want to forgive, but you feel like you just can't let go of what happened, you can't let go of the pain, of the betrayal, of the situation, that's not your matter to deal with. Forgiveness isn't about you using your emotions. Right now, your emotions is speaking. Yes, it is speaking. You may be like, Danielle, but it was really a hard situation. But willingness is what forgiveness is. You need to be willing to let go. When you use your emotions to try to let go, you're going to continuously be in a cycle, in a pattern. If you can't let go or if you can't forgive, go to God and tell him, God, I can't forgive. I'm struggling to forgive. Please help me to forgive. Please help me to let go. What is forgiveness? Maybe you don't even know what forgiveness is. What is letting go? That's all the questions, all the things you need to ask to God. Bring those questions, those ideas, those feelings to God and tell God, God, I need your help. And he's going to run to help you. Because forgiveness isn't about you excusing them. It's about you releasing yourself from the bitterness, from the pain, from the anger, from the resentment. You're releasing yourself. Once you forgive somebody that has hurt you, you have this peace inside of you. You just feel uplifted. You know when you have heavy bags upon your shoulders, and then once you remove those bags off your shoulders, what do you feel? You feel so calm. You feel so relaxed. You feel so at ease. You feel, there's nothing on my shoulders anymore. That's the same thing with forgiveness. You're releasing yourself from that trap, from that cage of anger, of resentment, of bitterness. It's you overcoming that. And if you feel like you can't overcome that, like I said, bring it to God. Tell God, God, I can't forgive. I find it hard to forgive. It's really hard for me to let go. Please help me. And like I said, he's going to run to come and help you because he doesn't want to see you burdened. You know, the Bible speaks about how you can cast your burdens onto Jesus. So cast them out, remove them, let go of them, and see what is going to happen next. Let's be sincere. As human beings, we want to be in control of everything. We want to make sure things go as planned to the T. But It doesn't work like that with God. With God, you need to give it to Him and be patient and wait that it's going to happen. Being in control doesn't mean you're going to be at peace. No. I've tried to be in control multiple times in my life and doing things how I wanted to do it. But God was consistently telling me and showing to me, you're not going to survive. You're not going to get to where you want to. You can only move certain steps, but I can take you further. But there I was trying to convince myself that I can be much more than God, that I can take it upon my hands and deal with the matter. But the consequences were evident. I was just more sad. I was just more in repeated patterns, and I was just continuously going through the same reoccurring situations. Once you let go of that control of how to deal with matters, of control of how to trying to do things your way, or just trying to extend things to how you believe it should be done, leave it into God's hands. I'm telling you, once you leave things in God's hands, it's always perfectly and it's always beautifully done. So leave it in His hands. Let control that you want to so eagerly put into your own might, give that might to God and see what beautiful things He can produce from that. And there'll be moments where you felt like you've healed a bit, you felt like you've let go, but then there'll be times where it still hurts. You need to accept that forgiveness is a process. Accepting to let go is a process. It's hard enough for us as human beings to already live and survive by ourselves. We always need family by ourselves. We need relationship by ourselves. We need things to occupy us. That's how God comes in. He's the one that's going to occupy us. He's going to be the one to guide us and lead us in this process. Who told you that you're going to be alone when you need to forgive or you need to let go? You're not going to be alone. God's going to be with you each step of the way. He'll be the one literally holding your hands and guiding you. You just need to accept that this is going to be a process. And for some people, it takes years to heal. It takes some time to heal. It takes some months to heal. But when you're once healed, your reactions, your character, your personality, everything about you that was before, it was bitter, it was full of resentment. But now once you've healed, you're completely different. You no longer look at the situation the same way. You've moved on, you've matured, you have overcome, and now you just want to progress and move forward. That's what happens. But you need to understand that the process is always led and guided by God. So yes, that time when you feel as if you've forgiven, but there's still a little bit of hurt, let God deal with it. Let God be the one to finish the work completely. Healing doesn't happen overnight. It starts with a decision. When you decide that from now, I'm going to forgive, I'm going to move on, I'm going to let go. Comment down below, I am letting go, to release yourself from the heavy weight you've been carrying. This is Rooted in Grace. See you in the next video.